How many toes do you think Feige sunk into this one? All 10, or
You know, it's funny that you said that because
fully direct the flow of Loki?
most of the last 10 projects
Loki
will say a Kevin Feige production. This one, it's like this big at the very end of the credits, and it's like a Kevin Feige production.
Yeah. And whisper.
But this is the one I would be like,
Lowercase.
it would be like a Kevin Feige production, Loki. You know what I mean? This one, I'm hanging everything I got on this. Ugh.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Coming This Summer.
Loki Part 2.
Yeah, we're talking Loki. It's not a second season.
Not season 2, guys. Don't kid yourselves. It's not a season 2.
They did what the other shows back for the last 10 years pretended to do. Like Breaking Bad was that was 2 seasons. That they decided and pretended it was one season. No, that was like two seasons.
Yeah.
This was
The Netflix Daredevil shows. Those were seasons. There were breaks in between
yeah,
where
this,
shit happened.
This should have been...
And then the season is like dealing with that shit that happened that we didn't see and then filling in the blanks almost. And then also dealing with shit from season 1. This is like, hey, let's just follow right up after we left off.
The second. Don't know. That's what I enjoyed about the show.
Which is not a complaint.
No, it's
Yeah.
there's no... To me, this one... I actually think this
It's
season...
more of just a statement.
overall was better than the first season because I thought there was less.
I will disagree with
I thought there was less wheel spinning in this in the first season. To me, I thought this moved it right along to the point where
on a technicality, yeah. I think this in its own plot wheel spun like
a little, but the first season had like episodes that grinded.
you
to a
also
halt.
binged
I did.
week to week. Which is like it is a difference.
No, that's a
I'm not
difference.
like
No,
saying
no.
yeah.
You're
I'm
not
not
wrong.
saying it'll affect our opinions or not, but like it definitely was like I didn't expect the whole season to be just like in that one fucking room dealing with the one like problem.
Okay.
Like, you know, I'm like, oh, we're gonna fix this in like episode 3 and then do another thing, right? Like, right? And then it's like, no, this is the season.
Well,
Like
it's
I
because,
kept waiting for it to be
right.
the thing, and
Well,
they're like, this is the thing.
The first season
there was mystery.
barely dealt with time travel, though. For something that was built on a time travel plot, it didn't really dive
was like
super into time
timeline
travel,
hopping.
right?
Yeah.
This season's like Doctor Who, just like let your mind go,
Some Back to the
motherfucker.
Future.
You know, because we're gonna do 9,000 different things, and you're gonna be going, well, wait a minute, because
Yeah, they don't care.
I liked that though.
Yes.
It wasn't trying to like, hey, we gotta pertain. It's like, no, we're outside
Let's go
time.
to Pompeii, and it's like, guys, we got it. We know the time.
Right, like
thing.
this
You
one, they're
can
like
go
casual.
anywhere. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, where do we
They
want
go
to
to Chicago. They're like, oh, well, we must have just missed them. They jump in there 25 years in the future, and then they just walk through the door through the hall. Like now, you're like,
Whoops.
you should get it.
Oopies. Yeah, let's just rectify that real quick. Boop, beep, beep, and now they're in a different time period. Yeah, I needed like a Scooby-Doo scene with TVA doors.
That's the only thing, and the reason
They're like coming in with different outfits
that
from
would've
the
been
different
funny.
eras.
They kind of did that at that battle in the like the second or third episode where like they find out that everybody's like they're bombing all the timelines. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, they're all like the breach. Our plan is breached. And everybody's like running through the doors.
That was a cool
Yeah.
fight. That's what I mean. Like there was this weird cool fight at the end of episode 3.
Is it
I
3,
think episode 3 when they get Sylvie back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, minor spoilers. We all kind of know where it's going.
Yeah, I was dead on them, I guess, on how it was going to end.
They
Like,
show her. There's like McDonald's promos out the ass. For some reason, McDonald's is featured in this more than Alligator Loki, and
80s
I hate
McDonald's
it.
is featured in
That's
this one.
true, which is fine, which is tolerable.
And like every time they show McDonald's, it is 80s McDonald's, which
Yeah,
is really
yeah.
funny. Like
Yeah.
the hats, the brown.
You say, we're going to divert a little bit. You say your least favorite character was the dude who goes back to his own life,
Yeah.
where he's a Hollywood
Brian
star.
or
Brad.
Brad.
Because that's an
X5.
It's a douchebag name.
Right.
X5, Brad. Brad
Now-
has one good scene with Mobius where they pull up to the McDonald's, and Mobius,
That
the
part was
entire
all good.
season, just wants some pie. Just wants some apple pie, man. He's like, if I get an apple pie, we'll be all good, you know?
Oh, and he walks to McDonald's. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're getting an apple pie. Yeah. And he walks them inside.
Then they like sit down and they have like a whole like lunch scene. It's funny. It works. They give you the Owen Wilson and Loki quips from season 1 with additional characters. Casey becomes like a big character
Yep.
who's like
Who
Fish
is amazing
guy,
because he was in a Good Place and he played the screw up.
That's right.
And in the first season he plays the screw up, and in this season he's like, no, I got to get shit. There's like 5 of us left to save the universe, so I'm no longer
gotta step up.
Which was nice because
I'm serious, Casey. Now,
but he wasn't like overly serious because he would say stupid things. But it was
but my eyebrows
there was
go
growth.
like this now.
I just thought this season overall was written better. I was more in it this season, I feel like, than like the first season is all build up, all set up.
I feel like
it's all set up.
There was more hype and more mystery around each episode week to week on Loki season 1
because we didn't know where they were going.
We didn't know.
That was only like the second show.
Or like this was like payoff, baby. Like for 6 episodes straight. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
1.
The first season just felt like it was a big prequel.
Yeah,
a build up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
This was like,
you're right.
Let's go.
I didn't look at it that way.
Let's just, No, I really liked. I don't know, man. I like the.
I like the aesthetic of season 1 more. I do like the oranges and it's more warm. This is way more. This is a more colder environment. You know, the TVA. They go into one specific room where it is way like blues and greens
But everything has got this weird like 60s. Into the world, the government has bunkers.
That pie room?
Thing.
I want to hang out in that pie room, man, where there's like cupboards of, what is that, key lime pie?
Key lime pie,
Yeah, just no other flavors for some reason. And I just want to eat pie with Owen Wilson. that's my goal.
That's
my goal as a movie reviewer.
Stuff.
I want to eat key lime pie with Owen Wilson.
He killed it. He absolutely.
Haunted Mansion this year. Loki season 2. What else has he been in recently? He's been in a couple things, sticking his toes back in, I think. Yeah. I can't. I'm in. Yeah.
I don't want to. There's certain. Okay. I don't have much. I don't think there's many plot holes, and I don't think there was much of a problem with how it ended. I saw it coming though, and I feel like.
Do we want to?
We can get in a little.
Do we want to give ratings and then go full spoiler?
This has been. I think this might be now this for sure was the best Marvel show, and in fact, it's the only one that's gotten 2 seasons. I do now think.
Let's talk about that too, because you can't do 2 seasons of really any other shows. What If is getting a season 2 officially?
That's a
subsect,
almost like a Black Mirror, Twilight Zone
that's
style
a different thing.
Right?
Yeah, that doesn't really count necessarily. You can't do Falcon and Winter Soldier season 2 because he's
no.
Getting a movie.
We're getting a movie.
He's getting a movie.
So that's
Miss Marvel season 2 got a movie.
Right.
So,
okay, so there is season 2s, but the other ones got gigantic movies, which is kind of screwed up.
You couldn't have done a Thor 5 and then weave in Owen Wilson hanging out with Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston. Like the Loki stuff is way different now from like where he was. You know, he's not like God, trickster God. He's just like, I got superpowers now.
Yeah, let's give our scores because I want to get in a little bit of what I think's coming with Deadpool.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is one of my favorite Marvel things, though, for sure. Honestly, and I think this year's been way better than people give credit for. For the phases, yeah, it was weaker than other stuff, but I still don't think there's been like terrible stuff. Secret Invasion has definitely been the weakest thing this year.
This was way better than Secret Invasion.
Oh my Jesus, this is like. This I might have enjoyed this more than Guardians, at least as much as Guardians.
No, I definitely didn't.
I did. I loved the closure.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah.
I just loved the characters. Everything was written better. The growth was right. There were little things that you thought in the first season meant something, but they meant something totally different. Like "see you soon" when they stab him. What he really means is, "I'm gonna see you soon, Loki, because you're gonna be doing this shit 1,000 times."
Right back here, motherfucker, because I know because you already were, bitch.
And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of those written moments where you're like, oh, they didn't just throw shit at the wall. They had an actual plan on how they wanted to do this.
Yeah.
But instead, like other Marvel things, you're like, they have no idea what
they're doing. It just came out too late is my problem. Watching it week to week was a freaking nightmare.
I agree. It should have came out in May like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I think
right after Loki would have been perfect, right in that Jonathan
Ant-Man,
Majors
right
high,
into Ant-Man.
because you didn't let anything escalate. Now it's like
if
we've had time to marinate. I know.
You just put it out.
I know. I'll say this before we jump into spoilers. Doom Dynasty does sound a lot better for a movie than King Dynasty. So
cool.
If they want to divert and just call it Doom Dynasty, then I'm fucking in.
I'm going to give it...
Cillian Murphy as Doom, and I'm fucking in.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give it a really strong... I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Wow. Yeah, you were clearly way more hot. And I'm not negative on it. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Which
there's some really strong dialogue in this season. When the last 2 episodes, Loki and Owen Wilson have some really ridiculously good, almost tear you up one-on-one. The last episode where he goes in.
The last 2 episodes.
I'm saying the last 2, but the last one where he sits down and he like takes over himself right when he gets in from season 1 in that one part, and he's like basically like, I'm actually. And Mobius sees it instantly, and then they have that dialogue about the bigger picture. Man.
All right, full spoilers. Click off now if you haven't watched. If you are watching it, watch it.
I just said they talk.
And then come back. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But now I'm segueing.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure. I'm like, I didn't say.
No. That was still non-spoilery. Yeah. Now we can ejaculate onto you our spoiler talk. Those of you that did watch, we know the cool people stuck around,
and they don't mind that joke.
So Loki's like a super god now, and he like owns all the timelines, and he like injected all his magic green into all the
Loki's
timelines.
Goo?
Loki goo. Yeah.
Well, no, and the funny thing is, okay, so yeah, spoilers.
The god of stories is what he becomes in the comics in one of the iterations. So fine.
But the final episode on this is very reminiscent to the final episode of season 1. There's a lot of He Who Remains, a lot of dialogue expunged, but it makes the first season finale way better because now you see that he's having a whole that conversation is not at all what you think it was in the first season, and
he's like I'm not even he's like not even talking to that Loki.
No, he's not, and that's what's crazy. And then you see
he's just like planning it in his brain so he can come back in the future and talk to him and be like, hey bro, you said some shit about a thing, I might need your help. Like
But then he basically reveals, I screwed with your temp pad and your timeline and threw you back, made sure you got thrown backwards to give you those powers to be ripped through time and be able to
time slip. Yeah.
Which is so freaking cool. Which is now it makes sense. Like, 'cause you're like, how do you give Loki these powers? But then if you're doing that, and he thought setting him up with those powers would just come back to pay off.
Which the time slipping looked like what? What happens to Kang at the end of Ant-Man?
It did look like that.
Did kind of look like that a little bit.
And that CGI looks so good, by the way.
Chronosphere also.
True, they had the little
time thing. So fucking, I don't know. Oh, that was Flash. Was the Chronosphere?
I knew what you meant. His little chip thing.
Whatever.
Time chrono thing. It's some kind of chrono thing.
Yeah,
they say.
Right. Yeah, Chrono MacGuffin. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they are going to do.
They mention Ant-Man in the last 10 minutes of the final episode. They go, what's her name? B whatever is like, do the other variants know about this TVA yet? Because they've now changed the TVA to be like the good guys, right? And he goes, no, there was a dust up on 616 adjacent the Quantumverse. He goes, but they seem to have handled it. So there's that little nugget, which now they're almost like
he's dead.
They're gonna look.
Ant-Man beat Kang in a fist fight.
They're gonna low-key kill the Kang dynasty, I think, slowly off screen. But and they made it obvious in the end
the Council of Kangs need to come and rectify.
Well, now the TVA's badass now, and they're good guys. So
I want them to set up this big threat, and then since the Avengers are like OP as fuck now, they just like mop them.
Kind of like the beginning of Endgame when they show up to Thanos, and that's that. And you're like,
for a whole 2-hour fucking movie, just beating Kangs up. And
then Doom shows up at the end.
And then that's the real threat.
And then, you thought that was I let him do that.
Yeah. He's just been playing with you. He wore you out. Yeah, while I watched from beyond.
It's really sad, though, and we talked about it off before we got on.
I think that would be
the Jonathan Major stuff, though.
Yeah,
because he's so good in this show, and he was so good in Ant-Man, and you're like, God damn it. If I got my break, I would be, I'm going to lock myself in a box. I'm not going out to eat anywhere. I'm getting Uber Eats delivered to the door, right?
No contact.
No contact. There's nothing that I'm doing to ruin. Do you know what I mean? Because holy shit.
Yeah. I'm just going to party as like the virtual Tina bot from Bob's Burgers.
You just sent iPads to everybody.
I'm just going to drink at home. Okay? We cool? Everybody cool?
No strip clubs, no bars.
Yeah. Why can't you FaceTime into a bar and drink from your house?
Okay, we're going to give you the entire MCU. You're going to be the face of it for the next 5 years.
There's a movie with basically it's the Jonathan Majors dynasty is what we're calling this fucking movie.
Ant-Man. We're going to put you in Loki. So 2 of our biggest characters.
I think you just make what's-his-face high evolutionary. He was like, a Kang variant.
I think it's not hard to do. Because there's all these rumors that they were going to make Ravonna a Renslayer a variant, and I'm like,
well, she's like the wife, right?
Right, which they didn't do, thank God.
Well, they teased.
They teased the wife thing, but I mean, like, they didn't make her a variant and all that stupid.
Can we talk
stuff.
Miss Minutes? Everybody's like super like hyped on Miss Minutes.
I thought that was pretty. I liked that she was going crazy and that like the AI had fallen in love with I thought that was kind of funny.
Cool, but like,
and she's like completely like, I'm in love with you, I need you, you know. Like,
she like gets big at one point, and it's like
the special effects though with her look
they
so
look good.
How do they make that look that good, but the rest of the shit they can't? I mean, this show is great overall, but I mean, like, how does this show for 2 seasons look better than anything the MCU has done in the entire phase? Because it does. I can't pick a bad special effects in this show.
When did they shoot this? Did they shoot this probably right after, before strikes happened and all? Well, they had to be before the strike happened.
So it's been sitting on. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while because it was supposed to come out 6 months ago minimum, and then I think we got a teaser in the Super Bowl. Right, I think we got the
teaser
first.
Was technically at the Ant-Man credits, right?
Well, that was the second. Well, yeah, but we got like the trailer during the Super Bowl and then again at Ant-Man. Right. I think so. This thing has probably been ready since. Yeah, it was probably filmed.
That's the last time we saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was spring.
Yes, it was.
This
year.
It
was filmed last spring. Yeah. I remember because I think we talked about when the filming was.
It still looks good because they didn't burn all their money on She-Hulk.
They had it. Well, they had a year.
Marvel yet.
Which, by the way, thank you. I forgot to mention this earlier. They did a meta thing very similar to She-Hulk if you really break down the end, because they did the whole science fiction versus science with Obi telling Loki you got to believe, and they kind of broke the whole like comic, but it was handled in a way that I bought it. Like 100% bought it. Not like I'm going to punch you in the face She-Hulk style. No, but they completely, they're like, hey, there's science and there's science fiction. And you just got to, you know, science is about this and fiction's about this. And like, just
science or
believe.
Is it fiction?
And you're like, and they're basically like, it's comic book guys.
Right.
But you don't feel dumb. You don't feel like.
Yeah. Okay. And then Loki walks into a portal and grabs time. And then he uses his magic to fix time.
Like
anybody else got a fucking
There's no
problem?
way that they couldn't have the whole She-Hulk writers. They didn't say, "Hey guys, no." It's like how they or did they see that, read the script, and go, "We can do that too." And
it's
then
burned into my brain when She-Hulk walks out of the fucking Disney into the Disney lot, into the writers' room. Kevin Feige bought. I'm like, I can't get it out of my head. No matter
it's really bad.
How much I've tried to boil my brain.
That was the first shot of trouble for me for the MCU.
The rest of the show is fine.
It's pretty good, and honestly,
it's fine.
The Feige bot's not that bad if you skip the whole entire her going through
she
the Burbank lot, high-fiving people.
That dialogue's fun,
right?
You know, where she's like X-Men.
She's like, I can smash Daredevil again if you don't mind. Here, chuckle. Fine, that's funny, but like, you're right. Walking across the Burbank lot, opening doors for people, getting vending machines visit. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need any of that. I didn't need her walking into the writers' room and the writers are all dumb. They need you gotta go see the Feige bot. No one needed any of that. She gets sucked out of her world into that weird hellscape of TVs with the robot, room. And you're like, oh, what is
the Matrix Architect room?
Yeah, I can buy that. This did not smell its own farts, even though it's like way more of a uppity show compared to a She-Hulk, which is a zany. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I was watching the finale, the last 2 episodes. I'm like, they're doing a sophisticated version of She-Hulk. And you don't feel like you're being talked down to. And She-Hulk did a dumb version, and they still talk down to you.
Yeah.
So you're like,
yeah, they're trying to. Yeah,
I think though, because they leave the end with Mobius not sure if he's going to go into the house to take the role. You know, he's like, I'm going to stand out here for a while and kind of decide. And I think, obviously, with all the rumors
he has a great line where he's like, I'm just going to let time pass because he doesn't remember.
He doesn't.
Like, time doesn't pass in the TVA.
But we need him more in the MCU.
Just gonna sit here.
That last part when he's talking to Sylvie and everything outside. But then we know he's in Deadpool. It's already been confirmed that he's in Deadpool. There's already like a million reports that he's in Deadpool. So unless Deadpool is happening at the same exact time, which it's not, because it can't be, right? Because this show literally takes place over the span of like a week.
Maybe that's the influx of shit that breaks the loom as Deadpool goes in and just starts tearing shit up. In the What If trailer, the Watcher's like, something's wrong.
That's true.
Something's fucking wrong. And it like shows his like, this crystal room and everything's like breaking and shattering.
But when you make a change out of time, they say everybody in time never knew, and to them it's always been that way. So maybe when Loki pulls the line into a tree, that's what creates the Deadpool thing.
Fucking awesome,
right?
By the way,
the Tree of Life.
Yggdrasil.
He creates the tree of life. I'm like, man, that's what I'm saying. The symbolism, the show, I loved it.
That's fucking dope.
He went from like the god of mischief to just like.
Anybody gonna ring up Thor? Let him know.
It's kind of weird, right?
Maybe drop him a line. Hey, your brother's the fucking Tree of Life now.
We get the one reference where like he's like, He's not that tall. That was really funny when they're like at the World's Fair.
Yeah, that was funny. We did Balder again.
Yeah, another reference. They're like, yeah, we all know who he is.
Why are they pushing Balder? No one gives a shit.
I don't know. It's weird.
Thor's over, and no one cares about Thor. Taika's officially off. He came out and said so.
Yeah, he said, hey, good luck if they want to film it. I'm not ready to film it, so I'm out here doing my own thing. So that's pretty much your...
Kicking a soccer ball.
I think Deadpool's going to be great. I can't wait to see, even if it's for 5 minutes, I hope Owen Wilson's in that movie because, man, having him show up and seeing... Oh, man.
It's just for us. Yeah, anything. I'm curious to see. That movie's going to get inflated before it comes out with all the cameos and shit, so I'm going to try and...
I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, I don't want to know anyone else that's in it.
Sucks. That's terrible.
61% male compared to the first one, which is only 55%.
What? So our predictions weren't even close then about Taylor Swift and Barbie bringing back female audiences for Marvel movies?
I think because it almost got too much. There was so much girl power. I think we're getting blowback. No, I'm dead serious. I think after multiple movies, Barbie, Taylor Swift,
they're
now
tired.
We're done.
They're just tired and they just want to go to bed.
110.3 million global opening.
Yeah. Not great.
75% below Captain Marvel's 455 global weekend opening.
Oh! Just $500 million opening weekend.
Pre-COVID, middle of the peak of both DCU.
If that doesn't tell you where we're at in the current MCU, then I don't know what does. Pretty much, I think people are now realizing, like, oh, Endgame was the end.
Well, like, okay, I think
now we're just getting bonus.
Let's see, I was gonna say, I think people are confused.
This is all the dressing, like we're getting.
I saw an article going. Marvel said these movies needed to be event movies. They're not even event movies anymore for Marvel. I agree.
That's
with
because
that.
they do 3 of them.
Exactly. But this wouldn't even be if this was the only movie released this year. I liked it. We gave it a good review, but I still would consider it just almost like a regular
movie. Right?
It's not an event movie.
It's not a release thing either.
Guardians was way more of an event movie because it's the final. You know, it's still from the old days of the MCU.
I think Deadpool 3 being the only movie.
Because it'll be the only one, and because it's going to bring the Fox stuff over.
It's like an event because it is an event. Right. Because it's like we're doing X-Men.
Yeah.
This is